All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. Ryan, welcome back.
It's good to be back.
It's actually your second time on the podcast.
Too long.
But I'm really pumped to welcome Paige Slocum.
Hello.
Heidi DeRusso.
Yes, hello.
And, of course, Ryan Casey. All you guys work with me, one in company at William Raveis Real Estate. So this is a fun one.
This is good. This is great.
Very excited.
I don't know if Sam knows, this could be my first ever four-person podcast.
Well, it's the first for everything.
Foreplay.
I think so.
There we go.
Yeah, a little four-person action. We're going to talk some real estate, right? Why don't we go around the little table here? How many years in? Because you guys are all top producers, top 1% in Connecticut. We happen to be the number one team for our county in terms of volume. But why don't you guys go around the room? Because there's going to be a lot of agents listening, new agents, seasoned agents, brokers, teams, aspiring, all that kind of stuff. And tell everyone how long you've been in real estate. They may be shocked hearing you guys are in the top 1% of your field, but then that may be, shocked to hear how long you guys have actually been in. So why don't we go ahead and do that?
Go ahead, Heidi. And,
Here we go. All right.
Yeah, we'll go this way.
So I have been in real estate for full-time for 3 years now. I started minus 3 years from now. And it quickly became a career in terms of I decided I'm not going to do this part-time because there's that old adage, part-time effort, part-time results. So it was a full-time career choice for me. It's been very, very fulfilling. I've transitioned to one in company about 2 years ago, and that was one of the best decisions I made personally, career-wise. And I think in all the things that I do personally is either obviously for myself and for the team. And there's just this collective feel of, at one company of, we are the top 1%, but it's to the adage what Byron said, we're the hardest working team. And I guess at 3 years, and I'm loving it so far. 3
years, and everybody's full-time, by the way.
Right.
We don't believe in part-time agents. No. So Paige, 3 years. Ryan?
It's going to be 3 years in October coming up. Yep, it was October 2017. Byron Lazine reached out to me. I was with another company. I was done. I think I had a talk with my wife the week before. I was like, real estate's not for me. It's not going to happen. It's going back to
the week before we connected. Really?
Yeah. I was pretty much done.
And just so everybody, listen, the reason why I want to make sure, and I'll give how long I've been in real estate after Heidi goes. So many people that are always thinking about real estate, like, how do I do it part time? How do I do it full time? The first 6 months are the hardest, but you can get going very quickly in this business if you're full time, right. if you've got the right resources. So 3 years. Mm-hmm. Heidi?
I just celebrated 3 years in February. Actually.
3.
Yeah, so we've all been in it around the same time.
And so Paige, Ryan, Heidi, all three of them are averaging a deal a week. I mean, so that's it's like a paycheck a week, right? That's what people want to have when they're working, is a paycheck a week. Mm-hmm. I've been licensed since 2012, so that's 8 years. Mm-hmm. 8 years. So there you go. All right. So there's that little I don't know, preamble. Is that what we would call that? Preamble for everybody. Setup.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
3 years.
Little background. 3's a number now.
Paige, jump in, and I always say the first 6 months are the hardest. What was the first 6 months like for you?
It seems like such a blur at that time because where I was just individually, it was as an agent, when you come out of school or when you get licensed, your immediate thought is, I got to make it, I got to get a deal, and all of a sudden you realize there are so many steps for the deal. So it was a lot of paperwork, getting to know the paperwork, just the how the deal goes down, and there's so much that for the first 6 months it was literally I was playing like I was putting out one fire to the other. Fortunately, I was successful because I used the hell out of my sphere of influence. Everyone I reached out to, basically I threatened them if they didn't list or sell with me that I would no longer be friends with them.
I believe that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or they're going to be excommunicated as a family member. And I was lucky to able to get, I think, 10 deals within the first year,
which is very good, and a lot of people can't say that. What was there something driving you of why you wanted to be so committed, why you were full-time, why it was so important for you to get every single deal that you possibly could?
I just think because I knew I kind of put the dollar signs kind of in the back burner. Not that I'm saying that you should do that, but I was just chasing just this idea of, if I'm going to get one, I'm just not going to be happy with one. I want to be able to get as much as I can within that year. And it's just about pushing forward. I think a lot of agents or people that get into this business, really, they see like, oh, we have two or three deals coming, and their mindset is I can kind of slow down a little bit. And that wasn't for me. If I had 2 or 3, I was going to go for 3 or 4. If I had 3 or 4, I was going to go for 5 or 6. I think in this business, people have to realize it's a full-time commission-based business. It's the fact that my mindset was, every time I would get a deal, you're back to zero, if that makes sense. You're back to zero, you're back to zero. And you
Being
just
unemployed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just would push forward, and hey, at the end of the day, I just think, for me personally, that was the drive. And like I said, I wasn't going to be in a commission-based business and be mediocre to it, because
there's a lot to that. You are applying for a job
Yeah.
every single day.
Right.
You don't know where your next listing is coming from, your next buyer, and every time you meet a new buyer, even if Zillow's teed it up, or if a friend or a family member's referred it, you're applying for that job and that trust and that opportunity to get to work with them. And
you're right, the first 6 months is so crucial in terms of what I call the building blocks of being an agent. I think a lot of people even
but if you focus on the building blocks, because you said it earlier, you said I wasn't worried about the money in the beginning, where agents they'll get caught up in the money. But listen, if you're only going to do 10 deals and call it a career, then I guess they better all be $100 million Playboy Mansion sales, Gary Gold style, which is going to be pretty impossible where we live, unfortunately. But right, you're just not going to retire after 10 deals. You're 10 deals, 20 deals, 30 deals. You got to get 10 reviews, get double-digit reviews before you can even say, hey, I've actually planted my flag somewhere, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest takeaway from my first year was, obviously, I ended my first year with another broker, and I got in touch with Byron Nicole. I just knew, even having 10 deals, and it's not in terms of, it's not that grand, but I knew so much potential and what I could do for my business, and the fact that this is a sales business, guys. You have to realize, real estate, you think that, selling Sunset, $1 million listing.
Anybody watch Selling Sunset? I don't watch it.
I've never seen it, but a lot of my friends are.
Tell the truth, Heidi.
Yes, I can't.
Yeah.
You can't do reality real estate shows.
You just can't, because that is the part that I think a lot of people who are thinking about getting into the business, because they come up to me all the time, was I like selling Sunset? I'm like, no, it's like selling crap sometimes, guys. You have to eat a lot of it. Just, it's not.
It's more like Jersey Shore when you really think about it.
And it's not that glamorous. And I think people have to realize that you can be glamorous, but at the end of the day, and I don't want to dismay anyone or scare anyone, it's a sales oriented business.
Selling Sunsets with the good looking dude there on Instagram.
Like the makeup. I'm lucky if I wash my hair sometimes.
Give me his name.
I don't know. I don't even know the show.
I thought my cousin sent it to me. I thought it was all girls.
It's all girls. It's all girls. Tariq does the
he's married to one of the girls. Dating one of the girls.
I think he's dating one of the girls, or engaged. The last time I checked Us Magazine.
Do I have my shows mixed up?
Yes. No. You have it right. Right. But that's what I'm saying. It's just it's just not.
It's not that way. Those shows are staged.
It's not all fun and games. There's a lot of hard work behind it.
There's a lot of hard work behind it.
They show the Vouv and the caviar and that kind of stuff. Let's skip over Ryan. Heidi.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
First 6 months, were you questioning why you got in the business? What were they like mentally for you?
The first 6 months for me were intense.
And I don't think I know the story, because we weren't.
No, because I didn't work for you guys. I came to one company 9 months ago, almost a year ago.
Maybe.
But I was fortunate enough to where I got into real estate as somebody's assistant, who was a longtime agent who's been in business for 35 years. And I was like, I want to get into real estate. I want to be your assistant, but I also want to learn the business to go off on my own. She's like, perfect, got the job for you. So I jumped in, and I was lucky enough to get my first listing in a month, because that's what family's for. And it was terrifying. It was awful. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and I learned a lot. I cried. And then my second deal, I double-ended. I had dual agency. And that's when, the fire, sparked in me. I was like, this is so much fun. And since then, it just kind of skyrocketed. But there was a lot of hard work. I mean, it's not like it was easy. It was just I became addicted to learning and like building that
But
foundation.
it was very quickly in the process. Your second deal where you're like, this is a career I want to pursue. I'm full-time. I'm all in. Is that when you say you got like addicted or got the bug? Is that what you meant by that? Or
when I realized, because my first 2 deals were so close to each other, I was like, no deal is the same. Like it's just going to be continuously like learning what's next and kind of how to like bob and weave and coach your clients. And there's just so much more to the job that selling Sunset and every other reality show makes it look so fun and beautiful. But there's like so much more hard work and like thought process behind it. So that's when I kind of got the bug for it. Like I can use my brain and have fun and help people. Like this is amazing.
And there's so many different elements of this business too. It's not every deal is the same. No deal's the same. Nothing's cut and dry.
No client's the same.
Yeah, if you like thinking, it's definitely a business you're going to be thinking a lot.
Ryan, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I try to think as much as I can, but it hurts. It does hurt.
Ryan, your first 6 months, you didn't enjoy them.
I hated my first 6 months. They were horrific because, not that this is anyone's fault, but I'm originally from a different state, right? Even though it's in my hometown's an hour and a half away, because I was hearing a story about Paige. That
So
she
you
had friends.
blame it on your parents then?
Probably my wife, because love makes you do crazy things, right? And you move down here. But Paige had her friends, as you said, if they didn't list, she was going to kill them. You had Heidi, who luckily was able to have family. And I didn't really have anybody starting off.
You didn't have any friends, no family.
I had no friends. I had friends and family, but they were all, it was a 3-hour round trip, which my
it.
first house was a family member, which was a 3-hour trip to get going. But I was like, this is brutal. I can't keep doing this. So I have to really start applying here. But that was very, very tough, not knowing anybody close by. So just going through with the team, like I was saying, I was with somebody else. Byron found me. I was kind of like that little puppy in the rain that needed a home.
I just love that Byron found you.
He found me.
Tell Paige probably
too.
doesn't know the story. I don't know if Heidi knows the story, but they probably don't know the story of that first meeting we had at Amaroni's.
It was at Amaroni's, and I saw them.
Let me frame it up here. So I'm like, Paige, listen to this. Where
I opened up the wrong door. I didn't know anything about Connecticut. I went into the wrong door.
It might have even been Carson's at the time.
Carson's.
It was called Carson's at the time. But anyways, so on the calendar we've got a meeting with Ryan, who we're gonna try to recruit over, and it's me and Nicole are gonna meet Ryan here. But Nicole had a girls' day. Maybe you were involved in this girls' day. Who knows?
I take the 5th.
There was all kinds of people involved, I guess, and she had a liquid lunch, so she was coming to this meeting completely primed up. All right, go ahead, Ryan. So that's
so first I walk into the wrong door. I'm like, this is embarrassing. I sit down, and Byron and I have like a great conversation about life, family, what do you do, this and that, and all of a sudden this hand comes flying out of nowhere and hits the bar, and it's Nicole White, and she's like leaning like the Tower of Pisa, and she looks at me with one eye looking in another direction, and she goes, "Are you with us or not?" Or something like that. She's like, "You one of us?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Are you one of
I'm
us?
like, "Who are you?"
Oh boy.
She's like, "Are you one of us?" And I'm like,
You're like, one of what?
One of what? Who are you? I didn't know she was part of it. I didn't know there was just a bunch of people there. I thought it was just the local person that likes to drink. But that's how we.
Oh my God! Did you just call Nicole the local drunk?
No, I didn't
my
say that.
goodness.
It's a local person that likes to drink. But that's
in her defense, it was very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Like a Mother's Day out event.
Yeah.
It was like a once a month event.
No, it wasn't like
was a
It wasn't
gathering.
like we found her on the street. She was like stumbling in.
Yeah.
But kind of going back to that 6 months, it was very tough. It was very difficult. And I know Byron asked Paige the question, well, what really made you kind of like stick with it? And I think the biggest thing was when Byron and Nicole did reach out to me, because I always felt there was times in my life where people passed on me for the opportunity. And there's been certain situations where I didn't feel good enough. And this was the first time someone said, "Hey, come here with us."
Yeah.
And when you see that opportunity, I was like, I don't want to take this for granted.
Sure.
And
it's hard in the beginning. And even like you had the dual agency second deal, that's a great deal. But even then, it's still like, where's the third? Where's the fourth?
Right.
And how do I get them?
Yeah. And how do I get them? You guys are all doing, on average, a deal a week right now. So you guys are all going to end up somewhere around 50 deals to end the year. Is it like, can you start in this business today with the market being so good and everybody being an agent, it seems like, and conceivably within your first couple of years get to a place where you're doing that type of business right now that you guys are doing?
Absolutely. I think it could absolutely be done. but it's literally trying to find the conduit. Like, how do I do that? Because it can be done. And I think, I'm going to be gratuitous here. I think one company has the wherewithal, the resources, and just, if you're able to put your freaking head down and just listen, learn. And again, I have grown in this business as well. I came in and, I've eaten humble pie, and it's helped me grow my business, to be able to take feedback, to be able to learn, to be able to say to yourself, hey, there's more than one, way of doing things. Does that make sense? So if you're able to kind of take all of that and really apply it to your business, in terms of every single day, every single day I can make a deal. Every single day I have an opportunity to make money. Mm-hmm. I think it could absolutely could be done. That's just my opinion. I think one company could do that. So join one company.
But but maybe somebody's listening from who the heck knows where. Yeah. So it might be about surrounding yourself in that right environment.
Exactly. That's
when having some people to really.
And that's the important part: surrounding yourself in the right environment. Right. You need to surround yourself with people who are hungry and basically know what they're doing as well. Because I think all of us, we call each other constantly for advice. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy's my executive counsel. Without him, I don't know if I'd have so many deals together.
Not sure. When I signed up for that.
That's why you're not drinking this week.
That's why she stopped drinking.
So I'm taking a break this week.
But you know how sometimes it's man, is there enough deals in the market for me to just come into this business? It seems like there's so many agents. It seems like everybody's an agent. How could there be enough deals for me to carve out my piece of the pie?
There's
right?
Always
is that
enough. There's always enough deals.
But isn't that a mindset or a doubt that creeps in? Even today, is that a doubt that still creeps into any of your minds, or?
Probably not so much in the beginning. Yes. So in the first 6 months, and then as we kind of move forward, I'm like, oh, this is great. But like Paige said, or how you said, one of you guys said it, you get nervous, where is everybody? But then you start there's so many avenues to get a lead. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. At least, you can't always think of you're going to hit a home run every time you talk to a client.
Right.
You're just kind of looking, maybe I look at it now oh, great, I'm getting a whole bunch of leads. Maybe I'll see these people in the spring, right? Kind of thing. So that's where you have to have your mindset, not I need a house under contract today. Sort of.
When did you, because Ryan, you're pretty aggressive in terms of keeping your follow-up tight and having a lot of buyers that, like you said, are more for the spring, now buyers, maybe that are 2 years out. When did you figure out that I need to prospect and nurture these people every single day? When did that click? Did it happen right away, or did there something happen where it finally clicked and you're nurturing is very important?
Yeah, I think it was first I just had to understand what I was doing.
Right.
Because I know I took real estate classes, and I'm not the type of person that's good at listening. I have to just go out and do it. I know Byron set me up with a loan officer for lunch. I'm like, who is this guy? A loan officer? Why am I had no even clue why I was meeting with this person, right? So I think it was when I got comfortable and I understood what I was doing. Now, if I wasn't on the team, we didn't have Lucy, who's our new sales, our new agent Jedi, right? Proper
sales Jedi.
Sales Jedi, to help me through the process. It would probably take me 3 times the amount. So I think the answer to that, Byron, is when I felt comfortable and I had structure and I knew what I was doing. And then it started to get a little addicting. And I'm like, all right, well, what about these people that I had sitting over here on the sidelines? Let me start calling them. And then I really started going up with the follow-up because I was I was content.
And I know for me, it was, I had confidence right out of the gates when I got into real estate, but having the confidence around knowing exactly what you're doing, right? Knowing that the information I got is good, knowing that I'm educating myself on what's actually happening, where I'm supremely confident reaching out that I truly, honestly believe I'm helping every single person that I come in contact with. And then there's no fear of me making the phone call, because it's I'm taking time out of my day to call you, to help you. I have absolutely no fear around that phone call. I don't care if you're pissed, upset, whatever. I'm only calling to help you because I've got the goods.
And that's what you're afraid of as a new agent, right? You're afraid of being yelled at. You're afraid of making a mistake. You're afraid about doing all this stuff. And then you just need to gain that confidence. And that takes time with anything.
Right.
But you need somebody, because I was in that previous brokerage, they didn't care. They didn't care if I left tomorrow. No one wanted to help me. They kind of just looked at me like, okay, kid, we'll see what you can do. And then when I came onto the team, I had people I could call to help. And I would say, let me get back to you. Great question. I'll find out. And then I would call somebody, whereas opposed to, on some places, most places.
Besides the selling sunset stuff that we talked about, where it looks so glamorous, what's the other big misconception in real estate that
we open a door and we make $20,000 just for doing that?
And that's it.
Literally everyone says, they're like, your job's so easy, just open a door. Like, yeah, that's not what we do.
Yeah, I think the
That's
other
true.
Yeah, it's true. And I think the other thing that the other misconception for me is the fact that, you know, as soon as that offer is accepted, it's like the deal's done. You know, I think people are like, yeah, it's easy. Thanks. I'll see you like at closing. And I'm just like, whoa, slow down, dudes. Like there's so many other parts to this that like you don't understand. And just working with a lot of first time buyers, they you know, it's eye opening because I'll see when you get in this business, you know, they'll ask questions and you always have to understand just because you know the answers to it doesn't mean that person at the other end knows the answers to
And I'll even just add into that, like to be a really good real estate agent for a long period of time in a certain area, your job never ends after the closing. Right. Because now it's your job to make sure that that person, you know, feels good about the deal or that you've done everything to keep in touch with them. Maybe you can introduce them to other people. Maybe it's contractors, people in the community, like in fostering that relationship, and that in turn will bring you those referrals back.
Right.
I think for me, it's I don't think people realize like how much my phone goes off. Like people probably see like, oh wow, he got the house on Instagram and now he closed it. Now he's got another one. In between, my phone is like, I'm sure you ladies have the same issue. And Byron, you know, 8 o'clock, it's like the phone starts to go. Here comes this problem. Here comes another problem. Is this, you know, did you get this done? And then before you know it, you're like, oh, you know, and you're trying to create new business. So I would say overall, like that's what people don't understand is how much and you know how much we live by our devices and how we'll take.
And the more deals we have, the more problems we have. And we constantly have to make sure the appraisals are on track. Right. The inspection requests are in at time. The attorneys have everything that they need. And it's for every deal at all times.
The more money, the more problems. It's so true.
Preach it.
The newer agent, I have a deal under contract with a newer agent. And I called, and the voicemail, you know, I called to like tell this agent something. And the voicemail was like, if you're getting this message after 6 p.m. or, after 6 p.m., I will contact you tomorrow after 9:30 a.m. That's the voicemail.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, it blew me away. So, and I understand what this new agent's trying to do. Like, they're trying to have some type of, like, separation. But my God, we know buyers and sellers, this is their biggest asset that they're purchasing. It's very important to them. And it's extremely stressful. Like divorce, death, and buying real estate are the 3 most stressful points of anybody's life, right? That's like proven out there. So to like hear that voicemail, I was taken aback. I'm like, oh man, I know what this person's trying to do, but it's coming off like really bad. What are some things you guys like would say to a new agent to put their mind at ease that like you're not just, you know, the phone doesn't control your life, but you're not 9 to 5 either, right? And like is there any balance? Does it not exist? Like what would you say to a new agent there?
The first thing that I would say to a new agent, whether you're working in anywhere, is do not fake it till you make it. That is the worst way to go into any situation with clients because you just end up doing 10 times the work. What I would say is the fact that if you don't know anything and if you feel like you don't know anything, be honest with your client because that really, enables that trust because obviously they're trusting you with what Byron said with the biggest purchase of their lives, one of the biggest purchase. Do not fake it till you make it. Yeah. I can't stress enough. People that want to get into this business, they're so afraid of what we just talked about, all the things that all three of us have done. All the deals going wrong and all of the other small to big minutia things. But that always takes a lot of learning and knowledge, and it's just having someone, whether it's on a team or your manager that you trust, that you can bounce ideas from, because that will get you so much farther in life in this business. If you have to do, knowledge things on your own, listen to podcasts, just kind of keep that updated because, man, the minute that you screw up, the buyer or the seller will just have this wall up, and you do not want that in terms of representing them.
Yeah, if you don't like talking on the phone a lot or sending out text replies like instantly at times, it's going to be a hard business. It's just, definitely. That's just the way it is.
Right.
You've got to be able to rapidly reply.
Right.
You actually have to like talking to people. You have to like helping people solve problems.
Yes.
And you also have to like to have like tough conversations. If you're not like, I'm not saying to be confrontational, but to be able to hear what your buyers have to say in terms of they're frustrated, to have some, that really, the uncomfortable feeling of like, all right, we're having some deep talk now, and this is good, and we're gonna all come out as together. But you can't be afraid. I always say to myself, if I have that avoidance, I'm like, oh, I'll just call them back later. It's when I have to pick up the phone and call them now, because I know I'm just trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
The beautiful
Every time.
side.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta
Just
pick it.
rip the Band-Aid
just-
off.
I
I'm
gotta
like,
call
just-
Heidi.
Yeah.
The beautiful side of this business is it's
Right.
not like obviously selling Sunset
Right.
or $1 million listing in terms where it's just fun all the time. But the beautiful side is that if you do this business right and you're in it for a couple of decades, you look at the people that have really done this thing right, that have
Right.
built a business over, say, 10, 20, 30 years. They all own a bunch of real estate that's paying them money. They found great deals over time. They invested wisely. They usually have a lot of money in the bank,
Right.
and maybe they're invested in other businesses or stocks or whatever their thing is. But the majority of them will own a bunch of pretty cool real estate.
Absolutely.
What's like because none of our goals are just to like do deal after deal after deal until we fall down. Like, what's your goal to get out of
Maybe.
this business? Maybe, but I'll start with you, Heidi. Like, what's your long-term goal? Like, what do you want to do because real estate allows you to do so many different things, whether it's invest in a company. Like, where do you want to be in, say, 10, 20 years?
That's a complex question
Yeah.
because I do love my job and I would like to continue doing real estate for as long as I possibly can. In what capacity, I'm not quite sure, but like currently I want to build my own portfolio of rental properties, and that's kind of something I'm working on. But long term, like I hope I'm 55 and I am selling real estate somewhere warm, preferably Palm Springs or Vegas.
Yeah.
And then coming back to Connecticut when it's warm to see my family and selling real estate here.
And you can do that. Like, that's
I
the
know.
beautiful thing about this business. You can set
Right.
it up exactly how you want it
Right.
to be.
And if I'm just selling for family and friends at that age too, that's great too, because I literally love our profession. I love the deal finding. I love the negotiating. I love helping people find their dream home or helping them sell their home at top dollar to like get all the equity and move on to their next venture. Sorry.
So you want to have 2 locations.
2 locations, somewhere warm. I'll probably be bound to Connecticut for the rest of my life. I tried leaving once, sucked me back in. And yeah, and just traveling with my children, but having enough properties where I have my own income coming in, where I don't have to worry on each deal, 1 deal a week, right? Like we don't want to worry about
Right.
getting that, because who knows what cycle we'll be in constantly. So I want to be able to have my own other income producing properties.
Yeah. Leverage this business to know the deals, know the market inside out, so that you can get rental properties that pay you an income, and then you can have 2 locations and just fly around, and you'll be on selling Heidi selling Sunset, Palm Springs.
lucky
I don't
she
think
gets
I'll
on
be back in that
Connecticut.
area of
She's
California.
lucky if she gets on Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Palm Springs is pretty cool, though. I've been
Yeah,
to Palm
I've been to
Springs.
I
Palm
love
Springs.
Palm Springs.
You been
I also
there?
love Vegas though.
Yeah, I've been there.
You like the desert, huh?
I love the desert. Dry heat all the
Yeah,
time.
no.
Things go to die.
I like the desert too. I like the smell of the desert. Maybe
When-
not.
What is it?
specifically Vegas.
Is there a candle?
I canceled my. I had a Vegas trip coming up.
Say
in,
what?
Is there a candle? Smells like desert.
second week of NFL. I canceled it because I'm not gonna do a mask in the casinos and like
No.
lose money just to wear my mask.
You can do that in a couple years from now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, when
It'll
it-
always be there.
Vegas
they'll
isn't
open it
going
back up.
anywhere.
No, it's not.
I-
Now would be
yeah,
a good time to
hopefully not.
buy real estate in Vegas. Their prices are dropping.
I know. It is sad 'cause they're so reliant on the hospitality business there. All right, Ryan, what's your long vision goals?
You know, that's a great question. Right now, I have small vision goals. So I don't really look at stuff. You know, I know Heidi was planning her retirement already, but I've been mostly looking at
Has
stuff
to.
that's kind of like a little bit closer.
We're up to
within-
1, Sam. We got 1 shot from Ryan.
Oh
to
no, I said
Heidi.
Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. I
Oh.
said she calls me.
I missed the other
We were
one.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
We were like 5.
But, you know, I have these small visions I have that I want to get to, and that's what drives me to keep going every day. Because it's something for me is like a little too far away, and who knows what the future is going to hold in 10 years with any market or any industry. if I have something that I'm close to getting, that will push me. And I think about that thing where I almost become obsessive over it. It'd be something weird too. Do I tell you like one of my weird things?
I'm sure it's something weird. Go ahead.
Ryan,
yeah,
you
I
are
don't know.
weird.
You ready for
Get
this?
ready, guys.
So
We're gonna
my
need a drink after this.
grandfather built a house, right? And it was like my family's house. And when I was like 10 years old, you know, we had Christmas there, all the holidays, and he sold it. And for me, I'm like thinking to myself, that's my birthright, right? That house, my grandfather built it with my uncle and his family, and now
Right.
some person lives in that house. Well, my goal is to have enough money to get a house here, be
Right.
comfortable here, and
Right.
then my end goal is to buy that house. What will I do with it afterwards? I don't know, but it's like I have enough money in a sense to do this, and this belongs to my family. And it's kind of weird, right? Like the
You're
little
right, yeah, I get it.
yeah, it's a little, but the little stuff that you envision, that's my long one, because that's going to take me a while to do something like that. But because there's emotional attachment to it, and it's almost like, because, you know, one day, you know, I'm kind of getting a little philosophical, but you kind of go and you make all this money, do all this work, and then you're kind of like, well, what did I do this for? You know, I did
Right.
it for my family, but you
Right.
need something that's like, you know, it's like Thanos at the end of the Avengers movie. After he defeats everybody, he sits down and he just,
Well,
he does it.
I don't
Does
know.
that
I've
make
never
sense?
seen the movie. You guys seen the movie?
Sam, you've seen the
I
movie.
probably have, but
Sam probably
Can we get Sam on the mic?
I don't know.
Something
Thanks,
a micro goal that I thought was
Thanos.
really impressive that you committed at the beginning of this year. You're like, I want to pay off. I think it was by the end of the year. You
Yeah.
want to pay off your wife's
College debt.
college debt, and you did it in like the first
I
quarter.
did it in July.
July?
Last
So the
month.
first
Yep,
two quarters
first
of the
two
year?
quarters we got it done.
That's really cool. Like
Yeah.
setting that like short-term goal, doing it in half the time, but it's something that means a lot to obviously somebody you care about. So
It
that,
means something I care about, but it also, Byron, it gets to that next goal of us getting a house, right?
Yeah.
So I want to
Right.
get rid of all that yucky stuff that could slow you down from
Right.
getting to that big step. So I was
Right.
like, why don't you start with the small ones, and then I work myself.
all right, so
Work
10
myself
years you want to be in an Avenger movie? Is that where we're
Yeah,
at?
yeah. So basically, I want to be the Hulk.
The Hulk.
Oh,
All right, so Heidi's gonna be
God
selling
bless. God
selling
bless.
Heidi in Palm Springs. You're gonna be
I'm gonna be green.
Oh.
I'm gonna be. Is that Kermit the
Angry.
Frog?
Oh my
All right, Paige.
God.
10, 20 years. Your kids are out of school
You know what?
at that point.
I mean,
is that where they line up out of school?
I know.
let's hope so.
Come on, Byron. You know me. I 10 years from now, I don't even know like.
But it
the
doesn't have to be
planning.
an exact year. Like
Right.
long term.
So I think what I'm just gonna just step it back a little bit here. I think I know you and I have talked about this. Just what this business has done for me, my family personally. My husband had a little bit of transition with his job, and it just it ebbed and flowed in terms of he was the man the person who was the breadwinner, and
Yeah.
we relied on my income which was good, which was savings for the kids, vacations, the nice stuff, but
Wine.
with lots of wine. With the transition, if I
Wine is the answer on Instagram.
I know, it's awesome.
Paige's handle, by the way.
people have been coming after it, and I've told them hell no. It's just the transition with my husband's career and his job. If I wasn't in the position that I was in, I was able to not only keep my obviously house afloat with my income, but save on top of it. And it's just that feeling of holy crap, holy shit, like this is something that's significant in our family as well. So that was a goal that in the first time in our marriage that I was able to kind of provide that. Now, and it's not going to be my goal, but that to that idea is I always want to be ahead of the game. Does that make sense to be in this business, whether it's just financially now or like 10 years from now? But however, in 10 years, both of my kids will be out in college, and I'm hoping that the portfolio that I build is the angle that I'm working toward is just to be able to do the legwork in terms of building strong ass relationship with clients. So my business is going to be a referral based business. It's the fact that if someone, even in the state of Connecticut, even if we decide to go anywhere, it's the fact that, they would know whether it's North Carolina, Florida, and, Maine, is the fact that Paige is going to be someone that's going to be referring you to X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And that's my goal in terms of just my business in 10 years. I don't know about any other, properties and so on and so forth, but that's what I'm working
You want to have a strong network that
I want
continues to pay you back every year.
Exactly. I want to be able to do that work now in terms of the small stuff, like you talked about, when the deal's done, just be able to, have systems in place, whether it's a birthday or whether it's the Christmas time, it's Mother's Day, and all those holidays that are very significant to my clients. I want to be able to really nurture that. So when they get a, Mother's Day, hello, text from me, they're not like, oh gosh, she's like here to just like, get a referral, but it's like genuine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to be able to kind of really cultivate that.
How important is it to like find time to do a whole bunch of stuff that like you like to do? Like I like to golf, so finding time for that, or Heidi loves to run and go to the gym and stuff. Ryan?
I like to paint myself green and on the Hulk.
But like, no, seriously, how important is it to find these things, not only for your mental state, but I also believe for your business too, because when you're doing things with people that enjoy doing those things with you, all of a sudden they want to help you more. They want to send you business. That network gets stronger. Like, how important has that been for you guys?
I find it to be extremely important in terms of, I love to play golf, and it's one of those things I can just say to like women, men, just be like, hey, let's go and play 9, or I like to play tennis and say, hey, let's go and play around. And I think it's the ease of these recreational things that really bring out when you're not in a office like this, when you're not so professional and you're out playing and it's just like a leisurely thing. I think your senses come down. I think you're more open to what that person has to say, and kind of leads into like very easy conversation in terms of, oh yeah, you know what, my mom is about to, maybe put her house on the market, or anything that has to do with real estate. It easily flows, and then after that, that's when you do that follow up. It's just that you don't do it when you're playing. When you're crapping the crap out of freaking hole 9.
I get so much fuel out of like just having some type of an outlet that's productive.
I love it.
Like for example, golf is very. There's a lot of thinking, and it's a mental game.
When you're on the PGA
and
Tour,
then Paige gives you these phenomenal golf tips.
That's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
These great golf tips. She fixed my swing this year.
Wow.
I had the shanks bad. You're not even supposed to say shanks in golf, but I had terrible.
Yeah.
I was swinging
He was
awful.
topping the crap out of the ball, and after seeing him do it 3 times, I'm just like, Byron.
She fixed my swing.
I was like, you gotta listen to me. You gotta listen to me.
I don't know. Have you had lessons before?
I've had many lessons.
Because I was blown away how quickly you picked up on what I was doing wrong, and then it actually worked. Like you get tips from people, and they never work.
Right.
You were right though. What I was doing.
So my brother,
unbelievable.
I come from a family of golfers. My youngest brother, Jason, he actually did the Nike tour. So it's like golf has been in my family. Now I'm not great, but I can go out and hack it, I can go and play, but I've been around golf enough when I know that I can't freaking help a swing. Like if someone swings, I'm just like, I'm not going to even help that person because it's a hot freaking mess over there. But I was able to see your swing, and you had it. And one of the coaches that I played with, and he taught me, he's like, you can't teach like distance. Like, whether you have to be able to do it or you don't, you can teach a little bit to get a little bit further, but like just natural distance and the way you're swinging is just like a natural innate thing.
I almost thought because I had 2 months. I was
so you do have the distance, but you were just
I was playing golf really well in Florida over the winter. Came back here and I had 2 months of just terrible, and I just kept doing the same thing over and over again. So it was actually getting worse. Every time I played, it got worse. Because
you're thinking you're trying to think to yourself, trying to fix your own swing, and you're just
just like real estate, right? In real estate, you can get in funks too. I was in one a couple weeks ago where I was like, I need to take I need to take a break and take a breather, and that was this month for me.
Yeah, sometimes you need to have a hard shift, a hard change up. Like Tony Robbins talking about golf, going back to golf, talking about like you just could be 1 millimeter off, and if you just keep like compressing that muscle memory in that one spot, then it does get worse and worse and worse. Same thing in real estate. Like if you're just pushing against the same wall, and this is a brick wall, it's not going anywhere, and you just continue to push against it, you're just going to get more frustrated. Right? Your skills are like going to continue to go backwards. Right? Where sometimes just having somebody to lean on, like, hey, can you follow up on this person? I followed up 21 times. They haven't responded at all. Maybe this is Ryan, for example, and then they hear Heidi's voice, and they're like, whoa, all of a sudden they're picking up the phone, they're answering the voicemail back.
That's usually how it goes.
Sometimes I gave you that layup there. Little soft assist. But sometimes it is just a small little tweak that sets you back, sets that momentum and lets you go, and it lets it all like
or it
free
just
up.
takes that one person kind of giving you a little
That's
tidbit
right.
too.
Right.
Like you didn't ask for the advice, but it was needed, and
that
you
one
really
coaching
appreciate
tip.
it.
Hello.
Yeah.
No one asked for advice. I just give it to them.
And
That's
well,
usually the
I'm very
best
thankful.
advice, though, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're not looking for it.
I don't think Byron was
someone
like, Paige is going to fix my swing today.
Yeah.
I did not expect that, to be honest.
Like, leave me alone.
Very grateful for it.
the whole trajectory of his life has been turned now because of that moment.
I
telling
think
you.
in the real estate market, what was happening with me, and this is something I constantly remind myself, is like I'll be like a certain realtor. I mean, like a good realtor, but I know what's working. I find out what's working for that month and how I keep pushing these deals. And this is probably what happened for most of the spring into summer. And then all of a sudden July it happened in August, and everything that I was doing, because I was just like hitting home runs. Yep, let's sign it. Let's sign it. Let's sign it. And then it just got into this spot where I was like, I can't get anything signed. I can't get anything under contract. And everything just stopped. So now for me, it's going back to that, you know what, let me show as many people as I can. Let's just build it up. If I don't get another deal for the rest of the month, that's okay. We'll start to invest for the fall and for the winter. But
Right.
that can, because that you have to adjust to it. That's just a while to learn.
But to what you're saying, I'm just thinking about a year and a half ago when, you know, I'll never forget it. It was like one of those paradigm shifts in my business. I was in Alaska on a cruise, and I was doing all this, I was, on vacation but working. And that was a shift for me because prior to that, I hadn't gotten a deal since April. So I was batting pretty much nothing. But what I have told myself, and what I think our team does, is the fact that it helped me kind of keep my mind sane is the fact that you have to have a schedule that you do every single day. And if you trust that process, it might not happen in a week. It might not happen in 2 weeks. But when it happens, it's because you did it every single day. But for me, it was, making, every single morning I would do certain things, follow-ups, mojo calls, prospecting, follow-up, mojo call. And it'd be days, it'd be weeks, nothing would go under contract. But I just said to myself, and with our coach, Jason, and he was saying, what are you doing, Paige? I just said, I have to be in this lane and really trust this process that the team has given me. And I can't deviate from it. And I think that's one of the important things I would tell new agents is the fact that there are going to be times when you get your teeth kicked in and nothing is going and people are doing business and everyone's getting celebrated for doing that. You're going to feel like, God, I got to try something a little different, If you have a concrete plan of what your business is like, I'm not talking about what Byron said about like a little tweak here and there when you go sit down with a client about how to, negotiate, so on and so forth. I'm talking about like a concrete business that you do every single day.
Yeah.
And I think that's
having those routines in your life. I'm such a big believer in the morning routine and the 80-20 rule, the classic 80% of your time and then 20% you can like kind of play with is so true in this business.
Yeah,
like
it's so true.
I need to have my morning routine every single day. Right. I need to post on social every single day. I need to follow up every single day. Like that's all in the 80%. And then the 20%, like actually me joining the golf club is in that 20%. Right. That's like where all my long-term stuff is. Last year when I joined the country club at the golf thing, I said, you know what? I'm going to spend the next couple years literally getting my golf game to where I wanted it to be. Because like I'm a little like, I need my golf game up to where I really start going hard on networking with all these peeps, right?
You'd be embarrassing yourself yet.
Now COVID came, so there's like not much networking going on anyways. But listen to this page. This is how crazy my mind goes. How long-term it is too.
I guess my grandfather's house doesn't seem as weird anymore. Here we go.
Yeah, where I'm like, listen, in like 10 years, this golf membership is going to pay off tenfold. Yeah. It'll be that far down the road because it's like I'll get my game to where it needs to be.
He's going to play with, scratch golfers that are really good. And I guess scratch golfers know a lot of good,
There's
heavy
like
hitters.
500 plus members. They know like certain people, right? It's just one of those things where my mind went that far down the road 10 years when I signed up for this club last year. All right, let's wrap this thing up. I want all you guys, and I'll go at the end, starting with you, Heidi. Brand new agent, 18 years old.
Ooh.
18 years old.
I wish I was a brand new agent, 18.
Comes up to you and says, hey, I took my class. I just turned 18. I'm going to take my test. What advice do you have for me?
Sign on to a team where there's support and cover every open house, every showing possible. Whatever you put into this business, you will get out. The more you work, the more you will learn, the more deals you will get. And don't judge a book by its cover. Talk to everybody and find out how you can help them. Because if you're only looking how each deal can help you, you're not going to close enough deals. But if you are looking to help each individual, you'll do well. And just don't give up. Push through the first year. Like the first 6 months, it's difficult. But that 6 months to 12 months, it's like even like, oh God, what am I doing? Just push through to the first year. You make it through the first year, you're good.
Love it.
What do I tell this new agent coming out? I would say the first thing is, how bad do you want it? Right? Because that's the first thing. Like, I know we're talking about the phones going off, and
I just sent that video. Eric Thomas
okay,
wanted as bad as you want to breathe. I don't know if I've
yes,
sent it
yeah,
to
I've
you.
seen that before. Yep.
Do you want it as bad as you want to breathe? That's
Well, that's the thing.
How bad
Like,
do you want it?
You know, like when we're saying like, what do you do about the phones, this and that? I really don't have a time where I do not answer the phones. Right? I feel like every job gives up something, right? A doctor gives up maybe holidays.
Yeah, they're on call all the time.
I'll call on time. A priest, well, we know what they give up. And then you have us. That's like constantly like the phone goes up. It's part of it. So that's the first thing I would tell them is like, you're gonna be busier than you think you could ever imagine. And then the next thing is, and this is where because I know this is gonna be my final thought. I'm very lucky to have these girls, these women here on my team.
Ain't that the truth?
Because I need them to do good every day, do well. I want them to do well every day, and I want their numbers to come up, because then it gets me uncomfortable. And then when I start saying, oh, I'm cruising and I'm doing great.
That was
Then-
just a backward.
Then
That was
he's-
like
Patting his
that was
back.
like I don't want to let any girls beat me
a
type
Ryan
of.
Casey
Was that what that
move.
was?
But it's all because we want each other to do better. Now, I never would, you know, when I talk to Heidi, I talk to Paige, and I want them to be like, oh, I hope your deal falls apart. You know, we're always there
Right.
encouraging, saying, hey, let's do this. But that's, I feel like, a healthy competitive environment. And
Right.
you got to have that
Absolutely.
fire. And I feel like that's what the people here right now at this table have in common, is that we have this fire and this desire to do great ourselves, but want the people around us to do well.
Ryan, more than anybody on the team, is trying to create competition within.
Yeah,
the,
I'm like,
the rest
I'm
of the-
like, I
He
don't even,
did.
I don't
He already
even
did.
know
Yeah, he
what
created
the
it. I didn't even know it.
competition is. I'm just
There
like,
is no more.
Heidi was in a competition and she didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I'm
Ryan's
called-
like, I won.
I'm like,
It's
why is
life
my
and I'm
name up
winning.
there?
It's life and I'm winning.
I erased it today.
Yeah,
Paige.
okay.
I
Erase
put
it.
a. I had to get. An
You did a
Instagram
great
photo.
quote though. That was like spot
Hey,
on.
did
with
you see that
today's-
Instagram photo up against the? That's not a whiteboard, but it's like a glass board. If you take, if you like draw something like I did this morning, and then take,
Yeah.
you know, a photo
Yeah.
of that,
Yeah.
you're in the background. It's almost like a selfie / quote
You
photo.
think I didn't discover that
you see that?
already?
Did you already know that?
I've been
Anything
doing
that's
that.
anything
You've
that's
been doing
somewhat
that?
a mirror for Heidi,
copied
she's gonna
Heidi. I
find
didn't know
out.
Just
you were
another
doing
mirror.
I was
for
like,
me.
yes.
Anything that's a mirror for Heidi, she'll find it.
All right, Paige. What advice do you have for this 18-year-old kid?
Get lost.
God, you guys know me. I'm not. I don't sugarcoat a lot of things, and you guys know that I say it straight. And I think what I would tell this 18-year-old be like,
Run.
why are you doing this? Tell me your why. Tell me what is driving you, and what do you think that this business is like? And then I would tear them all the way down and then build them back up. I would say that's exactly why you shouldn't. And I'd be the one that would try to deter them. They would have to sell
I like
me
that though. It's,
that-
it's
yeah.
It's,
So you know, to be like, yeah, no, I really want to, you know, kind of convince me, because as soon as that happens, I would tell them, like, let's sit down for an hour. But I want people to realize, whether you're 18, 28, 38, 40, whatever, wherever you're in life, this business, it has to really resonate with your why, whatever that is. And that's what I would ask this 18-year-old, and be like, tell me why, you know, and let's just work on that. And
yeah, why are you going to do it? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot of hard work.
yeah, I mean, like,
it's going to be really hard.
when your friends are partying, you know, you're 18 and you're, you know, at my open house from 2 to 4 on Sunday, all
Yeah.
hungover, like, you're gonna have to be there.
Yeah,
know?
you might sell more
Yeah.
keg cups than
Yeah.
you will real estate in the
Right.
first year. It could happen. I mean, it is such a hard business, and we tell that to people
Yeah.
coming in here. I mean, heck, we plaster it all over our social media. Hardest working team.
Absolutely.
So somebody coming in here can't expect to like have a cakewalk. We're going to sign an agent actually right after this podcast, and those are some of the things I told her. Like, this is going to be a really big commitment. This
Right.
is a full-time sales position.
Right.
We are real
Yep.
estate
Right,
professionals. We're
And
not
I always
doing
get,
this
yeah,
by
I
the
always
seat
get
of our pants
offended. I
here.
don't know about you guys. I always get offended when I have people email me or message me and say, oh, you know, I'm just thinking about doing this part-time. And it incenses me to no end, because I want to be like, then don't insult what I do for a living, a
That's right.
profession.
No one talks to me.
Just,
so I don't have to worry
just
But in
for
all
doing
honesty,
it
I got in
part
it
time. I'm
part-time.
just like, it just
Well,
incenses. I don't know. For me personally, I was just like, oh man.
Buying a house for, I mean, the average sale price, around here
Right.
is well over $300,000. That's a lot of money.
Like 385, I think.
Yeah. So you're not going to like go. Most consumers are not going to go to a part timer to spend
Right.
$300,000-$400,000.
Exactly.
Just like none of us would like go to our doctor and say, hey, I need surgery, and the doctor says to us, well, I kind of do
Feast and
those
flip
surgeries.
flops. I'm running.
I do those surgeries part time.
On
I do those
Tuesdays
on
and
like
Thursdays only.
Yeah.
12 to 5.
Sundays. I fit it in after I play a little round of golf. Are you
Right.
still interested? We would all run, right?
Right.
All right. My advice to the 18-year-old kid is to get a coach day one.
Right.
Before you
That's a
talk
good
to
one.
a client, a prospect, or whatever. So whether your coach is like that team leader because you've done the research and you
Right.
joined the right team
Right.
for your area, whether that's a broker, but you got to like make sure. Like, you can't just go to a brokerage
Right.
and the broker says, I'm going to coach you. I'm going to coach you up.
Oh, God.
Like, okay,
Yeah, sink or swim, baby.
Yeah.
what times are we meeting? Can I sign up for these coaching? Like, when are they going to happen?
Right,
Oh, they'll
right.
happen. Like, you should run from that. Do they have a plan
Absolutely.
on how you're
Yeah.
going to be coached? If you have the money to pay for a coach, go do that from day one. If you don't have the money, make sure you're joining an environment where somebody is going to coach you, hold you accountable,
Right.
like we do in our accountability group,
Right, right.
every single week.
Yep.
That's going to be massively important, and that'll help you get a little cheat code there early. Remember Mario Brothers? You get a little cheat code. You
Yeah.
go-
No. Yeah. You jump up on the
Jump up
flower
on the
and then
thing
you
there.
just run right across the top.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do.
Oh, boy.
All right,
Well,
guys, we got
that-
some stuff to
that's about
do.
does it.
Yeah.
Really appreciate
Yeah,
all of
absolutely.
you guys jumping
for
in on
having
this.
us.
Yes,
Thanks for having us.
So let's give out, and I'll link this up in the podcast, but Instagram. Where can people
Instagram.
find everyone on Instagram?
Heidi.DeRusso.
Heidi Dot.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Dot.
Spelled D-O-T.
Anyway.
Ryan.
Mr. Ryan Casey.
Mr. Ryan. And wine is the answer.
It's wine is the answer.
We dropped that one earlier.
Easy to remember.
Definitely
I
follow
might be
these
drinking
guys.
wine.
DM them. Ask them some questions about the
Yeah.
real estate game. And if you're thinking about getting into real estate in Connecticut, please reach out to any one of us. We'd love to have you on
Absolutely.
board here at One & Company. Thank you, guys. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. We'll
Love
talk
you all.
about the Avenger Hulk stuff.
Yeah, the Hulk.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll
Just
do it
don't
again.
come in costume next time.
Oh, I'll wear the turkey costume.
Ryan, if you follow Ryan on Instagram, he'll post the turkey costume. to find you.
post the
Sure will.
Look at his face. He wants to do it so bad.
Till
All
next
right.
time.
All right, guys. See ya. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching the podcast all the way to the end. If you're enjoying this content, please subscribe to the channel. And better yet, do me a favor and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this particular episode and who you'd like me to talk to next. And don't forget to watch some more podcasts.